Well, earlier this year, I tried something different with the Nagant. I normally, on all of the wear points, I use Never Seas. It's a graphite-based compound. But just for the heck of it, I lubed it with this grease that comes with the K31 cleaning kit, or the SIG cleaning kit that works for the K31. Because my understanding, this is the stuff you're supposed to use, not oil on that bolt. It's supposed to be this stuff. So I'm going to, I was waiting till a real cold day, and she's well below zero now. So we'll see how this stuff works. So this trigger isn't exactly glove friendly. And then I'm going to do some testing at 25 yards with 3 different types of bullets. I won't bore you with that, but I've got my regular cast loads, then these Hornady hollow points that I've been playing with. That I originally got that bullet for the Tokra, but they didn't work particularly well in that, but they worked very well in the Nagant. And then that guy that sent me some PPU ammunition, I want to try them at 25 yards and just see what kind of accuracy I get. But first I want to test the double action with that grease in her. Well, that works perfectly fine. But I'll go ahead and test them bullets, and then I'll get back to you. So I'll preface this by saying, remember, 25 yards. Because these aren't groups that you can brag about. Okay, this was with my cast bullet that I normally shoot. Now, all 7 of them ended up on paper, and fairly good there, but then kind of scattered. But remember, 25 yards. Okay, but the tumbling concerns me. They've always hit where I wanted them to hit. I just never realized that they were hitting sideways. Okay, now with those little Hornady hollow points, they're all 7 on here, but spread out quite a little. But they carry a pretty good whoop to them. I do like these. It's just that they cost more than the jacketed. But I do tend to like to carry those. Okay, now with the regular, the PPU that comes with that little bullet that's actually a little too small. Okay, I got 5 of them on the paper. This one was barely on the paper, but they're all shooting low. But like I say, it's a small bullet, and the factory loads are fairly underpowered. I think if you could get them up a ways, but there's really not a lot of adjusting you can do on that sight. So I'll probably stick with what I know, though the whole tearing through there sideways is a little vicious, but I'll have to play around with that a little more, because you can see they're actually just hitting sideways. Whereas these hollow points, they fly pretty straight. But it made me think I should try. I've got a jacketed bullet I was using in the Tokra that I think I can load in the Nagant. It's a plated bullet. Maybe try that. It's a little bit bigger than these, because these are like a 308 or even 307. They're just too small. And then, really underpowered. I get a pretty good bark out of these regular reloads. But that was interesting to do. But at least that grease works well. No, it's worked fine for me. But I really think I'll probably tend to carry these hollow points more, only because at least I know they're shooting straight, though maybe a little bit random. But again, I remind you, 25 yards. So most of the time when I see people shooting at targets, they're shooting at like 10 yards. Well, yeah, 10 yards you can hit.